What's up and welcome to Nacho's Cafe. This is your boy Will, aka Nacho, and today is Talk About It Tuesday, where me and a guest will sit and talk about it, whatever it is, and that's what we'll be talking about. You ready? All right, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy Will, aka Nacho, on the Nacho's Cafe, and this is, of course, Talk About It Tuesday. And our guest that I'm having today is actually a returning guest, and it's a special one because he was my very first guest on my show. And he's back because we have a major update. Because when we first were talking on the show with him on it, he was talking about interior designing and all, the painting and what can we do to make a house look more. And then, of course, we were talking about other stuff among intentions. And like, as you know, on my show, we like to bounce from one thing to another just because, hey, if I have a guest here, let's take advantage of what we can possibly talk about. And so the guest that I have returning is John B., not the artist, but he is an artist, but not the R&B who's older than my friend. Jonathan Wow. I screamed on it last time, hurt my own ear when I first did the interview. But we have a big update because now he's actually interior designing, but in a different kind of form. He's remodeling, refurbishing like furniture. Like he had showed me this, I think it was a dresser, and he turned it into like an entertainment center. Did the whole shabab and everything, and it looked good. And then now he started to do his own business. Like that was back in what, January, February? I think it was January when we were
January.
when we first did the podcast thing. And yeah, and he's been quite busy, poor guy. But anyways, reintroducing my friend John Bao. Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Fantastic.
Tired?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, because you're always working on your own craft, though. That's
Yes,
like,
it's a constant.
it's constant. Always. I remember
Yeah.
recently
Oh,
me and him were talking about um was it a team, and of course that brings on a whole nother thing, but that's obviously way later down on the line because he's just barely starting. Why do you have that face? Can you hear
you
me?
kind of like went. Yeah, you kind of like went in and then out, but you're back.
Oh, let's see, you need to fix your reception because I'm good on my side. I'm looking at
You
you and
know you're not talking about my reception. No, I'm just playing. You're good. I
okay.
can hear you. You're back. It's like it skipped a minute.
Okay, we don't want that, and I don't want you to
Mm-mm.
skip. Um, but yeah. So, tell me a little bit about how did that just change all of a sudden? Like, where did that creativity just all of a sudden happen? I know it's always been there, but where did it like? What inspired you to start refurbishing things into becoming actually? Do we call it cages?
Enclosures, terrariums.
Okay. I'm like, what would we call it? Because for pets and lizards and everything like that, things that you don't even really think about. And you were like, well, and there's a market for everything, and but nobody thinks about it. And you thought about that and started advertising that and word out of mouth. And honestly, people, if you're out there trying to make your own little something, word out of mouth is the best because it's like you're part of a private line, and you're getting the most. And then, of course, someone asks you, where did you get that? Oh, so and so. Hit him up. He has a long list to be caught up. So I'm just saying, you may get your furniture, but you'll get what you pay for. But anyways, let me not take on your shine.
Thank you. Nice. So it all started. I know in the last podcast we did, I talked to you about two little lizards, bearded dragons that I had bought, and I started off with like a 20-gallon tank and started like designing the insides out of branches and string, and I ended up getting a water dragon, Chinese water dragon, and that's where like the enclosures started to come in. Um, water dragons need like huge spaces, and then they need like a water source and all that. So I was looking online and I saw a lot of videos that gave me some inspiration to build my own. And I started building his enclosure, which is on my Instagram, my business page, and it got a lot of good reviews. I was surprised with how it like turned out, and people started like messaging me, telling me, you know, how much do you charge for something like this and all this
Right.
other stuff. So it took off from there. Elijah, my boyfriend, started advertising me and promoting me through Facebook, OfferUp, and people just started sending in requests and orders. And now I'm actually booked through October, so
Wow.
I'm taking deposits for October. Um,
Nice.
but it's like one of those things that, like you said, I started with interior designing for a home, and then it just turned into interior designing and building like customized terrariums. And it's such a big market that I didn't even think it would be like such a huge market, but there's so much that can come from it, especially once this whole COVID thing ends. I can start signing up to go to conventions for reptiles
Yeah.
and selling my products there.
Wow,
You know,
that's really smart. Yeah.
it's the beginning of a business, and it's called Boco Creations. Um,
Come on now
so
with the name. Where did
you
that
can
come
find me on
from?
Instagram. Boco came from, well, my last name, Bo, and then Co Company.
I like that.
So,
BOU Co.
hmm
Yeah.
and I just started my business cards, so I'll be having those, and then I've got some T-shirts that I'm having made. I finally got my logo, which I'll share with you.
Nice. Yes.
So
Yes.
I had my brother draw out a logo for me, and it came out perfect.
Nice. Yeah,
So,
because last time we talked, you said you were gonna connect with your brother to see about helping you create the logo.
hmm so
So it
that
came
was
out really
done.
good.
Yep.
Nice.
And then the dresser you were talking about, I actually converted into a terrarium. So the two bottom shelves that I created, I
Mhm.
removed the shelves and I turned them into tanks.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have my lizards in there, they're separated, and it, people are asking about entertainment centers with terrariums in them now. So it's
Wow. What's been like the
been a
most
journey.
what's been like the most challenging creation so far that someone has asked of you, projects or whatever? I know you told me about this really big one, but I'm just,
The most challenging, I would have to say, was these two big ones that I needed to get done for a store. A
hmm
guy's opening up a shop, and he wanted two 5 by 2 by 3 terrariums designed inside, but he wants them done like in a matter of 3 weeks. So that has been my
Oof.
biggest challenge, trying to rush through the process, but I'm a
Yeah.
perfectionist. So I'm also trying to make sure that everything looks perfect,
Right.
you know? So that has been a big challenge, and I'm coming up on a deadline soon. So
Oh, so you're not done
this,
yet.
no, I'm almost done. As you can see, the background is
Oh, is
completely
that
done.
it?
I painted it. Yeah, this is one of them.
Nice. That's
So
just crazy. So what are some of the tools that you use when you create this? These like I see you have like the wood, I see like there's grass, like at Home Depot is your best friend?
Home Depot is my second home. I mean, if I don't go to home, I go to Home Depot like at least 5 to 6 times a week.
I imagine. And probably
Yes,
pre-ordering things too, I'm sure in case they don't have it. Like I need this next week, or something.
definitely. I go to Home Depot for the materials as far as like wood, screws, and nails and things like glue. I use Amazon for the moss that you see in the background, the greenery.
hmm
And then the branches, I actually go on hikes. And as I go on hikes,
Yeah.
I look for pieces that have character.
So you're like
So I
always
don't just,
on. I love that. Like
hmm
you're like, I can use that. Everything has
yeah.
a meaning. Yeah, a purpose.
Yeah, we just went on a hike. I think it was in San Bernardino National Forest.
Okay.
Um, and I went with some friends, and they were really nice because they helped me carry all these branches back because I literally
Right. I
grabbed
would
like
imagine you find some stuff. It's like, oh man, if I had more hands, right?
so we took duffel bags with us, and I just started walking through, and I do my own thing where I like go into my own world. So
Hmm.
I leave the group, and then I gather a bunch of branches in one location, and then I have everybody come, and then we all just grab and we go. And that's what I use to add like character to
Yeah.
the enclosures.
Wow.
Um,
I mean, that's so awesome. The funny thing is probably an actual fact that people may be surprised who don't know this about me, but I love snakes. It's weird, I guess. Yeah, I like snakes. I just like reptiles. Weird, I guess. Everyone's like, oh yeah, but I like dogs. That's the only other fuzzy animal I like. And but I don't know what it is that fascinates me about a snake, but I like snakes. And people are like, oh, he's the devil. Everybody has their opinions, but no. So it's like I said, there is a market for that. And if I ever eventually get a snake, I'll be hitting you up. Have you
yeah, it's one stop shop.
So what else are you gonna do with this? Would you imagine like maybe having an actual shop? Because I know you work from home, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and would you ever think about? I mean, because that comes with a whole bunch of expenses. You got the property you gotta pay for, you gotta the rental, all that on top of your own rent at home. Like even though right now at this time during COVID, I know sometimes it's pressing, but this is the biggest opportunity for a lot of us who are trying to create something of our own and grow something in it. So that's definitely I think you really capitalized on it. And like I said in the last episode, like I've watched you personally, like how you've really grown, like from the jobs that you had before, working two jobs and then quitting one and then the other one and then trying to just going out there on a limb on your own. So and you have to test the waters. You gotta find what your niche is, and
You
you.
actually had like front row seat because
I
you
Yeah.
walked into Smart and Final and actually saw me work with the child.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Yes, yes. So I was there firsthand, like watching, eating my popcorn. I'm like, oh, this is getting good. What's he gonna do? He ain't got no more job. He's like, it's really amazing watching somebody, and that really inspires me to just pursue myself. So with the things that I'm after, but just watching you, it's still I still am in awe. And I remember you told me about this that you're doing now and your passion and your creativity is coming and now it's in your own hands, because when you think about interior designing in a home, it's not your home, and so you can't always be there, to maybe do a little touch up here and a brush here, but with this, when you're making these homes for these little reptilian friends of ours, it's in your hand and you're creating it from scratch. You're not putting four walls up for a house. You're creating this home for a critter. And one of the things that was cool, because I know your brother has that Instagram about all how to take care of the like different types of animals, which is really
Reptile,
cool.
yeah, exotic
Yeah,
animals.
reptiles and stuff. And so that's why it's kind of like a cool connection. You are doing that, he's doing that too. So it's like you guys can almost work together in that sense. Like,
Yeah, I'm
hey,
trying to get him to come out here. Like, I'm like, dude, just come out here. We can work on these things and get him out. Because
yeah,
he's a good learner too. He's just like me. We catch on quick,
yeah,
and he has we share the same interests. So he
uh-huh,
sees what I'm doing, and he calls me every day to see how the
yeah.
projects are going, and he's
Oh, nice.
excited. So I'm like, just come out here.
Yeah, why doesn't he?
I guess him and his girlfriend are waiting till next year
Oh,
because they're actually planning on moving out here permanently. So
oh.
they're setting everything up in Chicago, getting everything ready for that to make the big move.
Hmm.
Uh, but yes, I do plan on eventually having a storefront. Right now, the biggest goal is to actually buy a house, so at least
Yeah,
I can have a garage. So
yeah,
that's where
exactly. I was gonna
most of
say that garage would
my
help a lot.
savings is going, and I've outgrown this apartment already with these terrariums. I mean, I barely have space to walk around because there's so many boxes
Right.
everywhere,
I
you
can
know.
imagine. Yeah.
And my workstation is literally like small,
Yeah.
so it's really small. So I do what I can in here, and it's taking over. So definitely want to expand and grow and get a bigger space. But yes, I do want to have a storefront and have just my own
Hmm.
company, my own, I can already, and one thing about feeling ordained, like I'm just being guided. Each
Yeah.
step is being guided. And
Really are though.
it's crazy because when I say that, I can actually, like, what's the word that I'm looking for? Uh, Testify that the visions that are being given to me, I can see them, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Because I done
Manifest
seen
it.
visions of, me in a house and a truck with my logo on it, one of those old white trucks. That has been sent to me and I've seen them. And so I know I'm on the right path, and things
Yeah.
that are happening right now, it's just everything's falling into place,
Right.
And one exciting thing that has happened to me is Mad TV Deborah Wilson. I don't know if you remember her
Oh,
from Mad
yes,
TV.
yes, yes, yes. Got you, got you. That's
I'm building an
crazy. Did you
enclosure
did
for
you guys
her.
do the video yet or no?
What video?
You said that you guys she was gonna speak for you or something like that, and then you guys work together
Oh,
to
oh, the promotional video. Not
yeah.
yet. Once I finish her terrarium, then she'll come out and pick it up, and she says she'll make a a promotional video for me.
That's so
So
crazy. You gotta take a
it
picture.
is
Yeah.
definitely a
Right,
video,
right.
picture,
That is
autograph.
so
Yeah,
awesome. That's so cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and if
it's
you guys didn't
exciting.
hear Deborah Wilson from Mad TV, if you don't remember her, you're dumb. But she played Bonifa, Latifah, Harifa, Sharifa Jackson,
Mm,
Oprah. So, I mean, if you don't know who she is, look at her up, please. She's fun.
literally. Whitney Houston. She was my one of my
Yes,
favorites on
Whitney
there.
Houston. She did. Gosh, it just left me. Hold on. She played on Baps with Holly Berry and she was the flight attendant. Um, because I just saw a spoof uh on Instagram and I was like, oh my god, and I forgot she was on that movie. Um, yeah, no, she's really cool. That's awesome though. I still can't. Wow, that's when you told me, I was so excited for you. I was truly excited. I was like, yes. Now get
Mm,
ready for a really big buckload, okay? Because with her speaking about, people were like, who is this dude? So we can, you know what I'm saying? So that's
yes,
definitely gonna be
definitely.
a
The
workload for you.
traction that I'm getting is it's amazing. Like it's come out of nowhere. Like when I started my own Instagram page, it took me like 2 years to get like 50 followers. And I'm not a social media type, but
Yo,
I
we know.
started this Instagram page like 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago, and I'm already at 150 followers.
Wow, that's good. That's good. See, there's a
Mm,
following for that, and then whatever hashtag you're using also gives it some recognition too as well. And then highlights, I mean, really use it. I myself am working on that too myself with my podcasting and all that. I am not the best marketer for myself. I will market someone else and help them and promote them and support them, but kind of rough on myself. So that's my challenge, and I am going to accomplish that. I am accomplishing that.
yes, you are.
That's so diving in and into I feel like we I mean you've watched too as I've grown as well doing this as well. So I mean it's kind of fun when you watch your friends that are really close and you know what they go through and see them just kind of like prosper, and that's why like I look at you and I just smile and I talk about you. I'm like, you remember my friend Jonathan? Yeah, and he was doing this and blah, 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 and now he got it all business. Yeah, yeah, so it's like it's funny, not funny, but like it's like wow, I like I'm still amazed, man. Um, yeah,
Thank you.
yes. So What can I ask you? I'm thinking about it. 'Cause I did not prepare no questions for you.
Where are
Okay.
your notes? Come on.
What you mean? I have been like on the go. I was going to work on it, but you said earlier. I was like, oh shoot. Now I gotta like. I just took a shower and everything like that, and just.
Well,
Uh,
if you want to know about like the whole team part, because I know me and you used to talk about like not being able to fulfill your dreams without your team. So that's like a part where I'm working on right now is I'm trying to find my team because I know that this can be big and I know how big it can get. Um, but me doing it on my own, there's so much room for injury and just failure. You know what I'm saying? Like lifting these big old boxes behind me
yeah.
is
Yeah, it's a lot.
a mission. So, I'm
And if you
trying to
guys look on
find.
his page, you'll see Jonathan. He might need some help. We don't want him to break. That's messing with you. Anyway,
Smart ass.
but no, yeah, the team. You definitely need a team. Cause one of the things that I learned recently, I think it was this year, about especially when you're trying to do your own business, it's very important to have a team because it's so hard for you to do it all. Especially if you have a colossal mind, which you do. I know I do, and having a team is so important because sometimes we get blindsided when we're so in our own world, and then we need some more feedback or input. And so when you have a team, maybe they can also offer some more insight. What if you did this? Or I saw this when I was out walking around. And what if, so when you have a team, you have mouths with different perspectives, and that only offers and creates something more, bigger. And not saying like if you want to go big and huge, but I'm just saying just it's a benefit of having a team. And like you said, picking up these heavy ass boxes, because I take my hat off to you because that's a lot of work. And you're delivering these to your clients?
No,
No, they come pick it up,
no, hmm
but you still got to wheel it out.
no. I set it out to the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then they come in and grab it and
Got
load
you.
it onto their truck or whatever they do. But
But you
I
still got
just
to
had
deal with
a
it when you're making it, though, because that's a lot.
yes. And the crazy thing is that I have to do side by side, like each side separately. So when I do the background, I have to lay it on its back. When I do the left side, I have to lay it on the left side. When I do the right side, so I have to keep flipping them and tossing them,
So,
different sides.
okay, since we're talking about that, walk me through the process of creating this. What do you, I know we said a little bit of what you're using. You talked about the grass and all that, but like, walk me through the process. Like, okay, so where does your inspiration comes from? Number one, you're thinking about a jungle. What are you thinking about or desert? What are you thinking about?
Well, it depends from client to client. It differs. The first thing we start off with is measurements. So I
Mm,
need to know how big they want the enclosure. Then I need to know what they're looking for. Like, do they want it, the interior design? That's the extra cost. So I need to know exactly what you want. And then I ask, what inspiration are you going for? Do you want it to look like a forest? Do you want it to look like a rainforest or a desert? So then I get that. Then I ask some of my clients to send me like pictures of what they would want it to look like.
mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I do my own research and I start Googling like images from deserts and stuff. And then I get my own creativity, my own mindset, and I create a vision
Yeah.
or create my vision. Um, so once I build the box, now I have the box that's done. My next step is using something that we call expanding foam.
Uh-huh.
It comes in a bottle, and I spray it on in all the areas that I want the designs to, like the rocks on the side or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I have a machine that it's a Dremel. I start carving away
Mm-hmm.
and carving away to create either a rocky texture or uh, a shelf looking thing, for them to lay on or whatever, a platform. And once I carve all that out, then I go ahead and add like cement. I have to let that dry to bring it to life. I have my own little specs of where like I add paint to make it look realistic, and little things. Then I have to gloss it. When it
Yeah.
comes to the backgrounds, like this one's supposed to be like a rainforest, and with the background, all I do is use like a silicone gun,
Uh-huh.
and then I just stick the moss
Wow.
on it.
I'm like looking at it too,
And
like behind you. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, what does it sit on? What do you have it sitting on right now? Like your work desk or what?
what do I have? What do you mean? Like
What is it sitting on behind you?
it's just oh, this is just a big box, so it's literally on
Oh, wow.
wheels.
Okay, wow. I didn't I
It's
was like, that is
really big. Yeah.
jeez. Wow, and all that lighting in there too. Go ahead. Man, there's a lot of stuff to that, like, whew, and you have to have patience
Yes.
for it. Man, you better
Patience
okay, come on,
is.
techie. You got that. You see that light bulb, y'all? Oh my goodness. Wow, that is so
That actually
crazy.
made my job a lot easier. I didn't know how to do the light bulbs, but I did a lot of research to just figure it out.
And you
And
figured it out?
mhm.
How difficult is it?
It's not difficult at all. You literally buy the socket, and then I buy extension cords, and I cut off the end, and then I cut the wire, connect it, and now they can just plug it into the wall, and the light turns
Well, you are in your element. You better get
on.
it. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's just amazing. I mean, you have to do your research, especially with something, I remember just teaching myself everything. Like as in when I was doing photography, I was like, man, I need to find someone to take pictures. Like, man, I'm just gonna do it myself. Then it became when I needed to edit a video, I'm like, I'm gonna do it myself. Do the research all on your own, and instead of depending on a whole lot of people. I mean, and then that way, when you do have your team, you can walk them through it. Like,
Mhm.
this is how you do it in case they don't. So that also gives someone an opportunity to work. Like I don't have no experience. Well, if do you want to do this? Do you have the heart to do it? Because I can show you the ropes. Because a lot of these companies, as we know, working in the working industry, if you don't have an experience, you don't get the job. And
Right.
I don't get it. It's like, well, how am I supposed to get it if I'm not
Exactly.
giving me the chance? Because how do you know if I will learn?
Mhm.
But that's good that you got that all under your belt now. I mean, it's just growing. You got a whole lot of more experiences. Like something else is gonna come up. Watch.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like Elijah, he's very helpful with the business aspect.
Yeah,
So he handles the inquiries, the quotes, and the transactions.
yeah.
He handles
Because
all
that's a lot
that,
to
and pretty
do
much
when you.
it is. And you have to be a people person and patient. And not saying that I'm such a horrible human being, but when things start to get complicated, that's where I'm kind of like, okay, I'm done. I'm not responding.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want. But he's very good with getting to understand people and getting the ball rolling on things. And like with
Right.
difficult clients, I've only had one, and I wasn't even prepared for that because it was like I said, I'm a perfectionist. So when I show somebody my work, I expect a certain reaction. And this particular client was kind of like wanting me to duplicate duplicate an exact terrarium. Now the problem with that is that I'm not going to be able to find the exact same
Right.
branches with the
Right. I was gonna
exact
say that.
same, you know, it's all coming from. And another thing is, it's a customized terrarium.
Right.
And customized terrarium, none of them are going to look identical. I'm not a
Exactly.
manufacturing company,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So creativity comes to me for different things differently.
Right.
Um, but at this point, I said I was just gonna go ahead and keep doing the work, and I'm pretty sure once he sees it completed, he will get the wow factor. Because all of my clients always do. They come and it's like I love to see their expressions when we bring them. When they see them, and
That's
it's
rewarding.
like
Yeah.
it's very rewarding. But another issue that I've been kind of like dealing with is getting the support from like family,
Oh,
because
okay.
my family's kind of like old school, old fashioned. So they live off of, you have to have benefits, you have to have a 401k,
Yes.
you have to be paying towards your social security. You can't just make a business, not during these days. It's gonna fail. You gotta worry about when you want to retire. And it's like I got that from my grandparents. So I was kind of like discouraged for a
Yeah, of
minute.
course.
But
Naturally.
it's like I see this so different, because I see it as, once I get to where I'm supposed to be, all of those things will be taken care of. Like my life, I'm not gonna have to worry about my retirement fund, because it's
Right.
already gonna be set aside.
Exactly.
You know,
It
so
just
that
takes
was a
time.
difficult thing,
Yeah.
and I had to decide to just let them say what they wanted to say, and know that where I'm headed, that's not gonna be a problem for me. And it's a
That's
scary
the right
world.
mentality. You have to have that. And you hear it all the time with people who come from, not come from, but they start with nothing. And they all, that's their story. Like, support was tough to have because no one sees your dream but you. You're the one with the vision, not them. So of course they're going to discourage it because they live in the small little mind of theirs where they don't see you're like over here, and they got this mind that's like that. So it's like it's kind of hard to elaborate with someone like that, and they don't see it. Like, I don't get it, but you need benefits, so I don't know how this is going to work for you. Aren't you worried about? And I dislike when people do that. Like, aren't you worried about? Like, I don't need to worry about that. If I cannot paint my path the way that I see fit to work for me, because this is my life, then of course I'm gonna worry about it like you. Is that what happened to you? Because you worried too much, and so that's why you're not living your path, your purpose. Because
Mm.
I'm doing something different that's maybe not like what you're accustomed to. And again, that generation is different because they do come from making sure you're secured. Every generation changes, and I remember hearing that from my mom, hearing that, because it is like, well, you're going to make sure you're taken care of, you got to make sure you don't have to work forever. And I don't mind working. It's like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I want to make sure I'm still working on whatever I'm working on. And especially like this, I mean, me personally, I see it going far, and you having your team, and then you're coming in your shop or maybe a few other shops, because when you start, I'm sure you're going to start doing, not, is it campaigns or like ads or whatnot, when you start partnering with other business partners and they start using your stuff, putting it at their retail store or wherever their stores are at, just kind of like showcasing what you do, and then word out of mouth. Oh yeah, let me give you Jonathan's number. He has a little small town bit. I won't say small, but it's definitely a business that you can definitely get this type of product, to your location. So I mean, I see it branching out, and you being an old guy and smiling. This is what I created. I have created job opportunities for people. Like, I see
Mm-hmm.
this as something big, and it just started. You're like, this is, I either got to do it or I don't, and you did it. That's so inspirational. Yeah, I'm next.
Yes, you are. Look at you. Remember where you started.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, I need to take a break, that's for sure. But I'm not taking a break because I'm still doing things. So
I'm dying for a vacation. Like, but I
yes,
don't see it
that's a
happening
good
until probably like
question.
November.
So are you going to take some time off? Like, how are you, I mean, like, are you going to maybe
Well,
give yourself a month? you know?
maybe not a month, but maybe like a week or so. And I'm thinking hopefully for like November, because right now, uh, October is completely booked. In September, I have 8 orders that I have to get done,
Are they big
and
or small?
then I have one big one, which is the same size as this one
Oof.
behind me. And then the rest are a bit smaller. But yeah, I have 8 of those that I have to get done. And October, we're already getting booked up through October. So November is
Oof.
definitely probably like the last week of November. I want to just relax.
Now, does it? It gets easier though, right? Once because you kind of get your own momentum going. Like you have your challenging big ones, right? But after you've done, let's say 5 or 10 of them, now you kind of already know, like, okay, this is what I need. So it kind of moves faster for you, right?
Yes.
And
And
so, you know,
also, another thing that helped me is investing in tools
yeah,
that would
oh
make my
yeah.
job easier. Because I literally started with a drill and a sander.
With and a what? A drill and a
And a
what?
sander.
Yeah. Oh my god. And that takes time, does it? That
That
takes a
takes
lot of
yes.
time. And how
The
big was your sander?
dresser, it was a small sander,
Oh
circular.
my gosh. I can only imagine.
When I started building the entertainment center, that's all I had.
Yeah.
So the time was like double
Yeah.
to get done, and now I'm like flying through them because I got my own niche now, and the tools that I'm using make it a lot easier. I mean, I have so many tools now. I've never thought I would own tools in my life, but I
Right?
have everything you
He's
could think
butch, y'all. He's really butch. He's a top. No, I'm just kidding. He's a little burly man. Okay.
What happened?
Right? It's crazy how life takes you in a whole different direction sometimes in ways that you would not even ever imagine when you were younger. I mean, I'm sure you would have probably at Staples. Would you even think that you were gonna do it in Staples? Smart and Final. My bad. You know, I always get those two mixed up. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the S, and I want to say Staples every time. Even when I'm shopping, I'm gonna go to Staples to go get some chicken.
Good luck.
Staples. I'm like, yeah. Oh, Smart and Final. I'm sorry, Staples sounds smart. Anyways, but just like thinking from back then, though, over not even imagining you would be doing this now, and I just find that so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's life,
I've
y'all.
never had an entrepreneur mindset. Like I've always had the office job, like just thinking benefits and for all that stuff. And entrepreneurship to me was like it's not stable. So you never know if you're gonna get money. You never know if you're gonna be able to pay your rent. And then once I dived into this field, it's just like
You don't think about
I'm
that, right?
good.
Yeah,
I don't think about it.
I
You
feel
know,
like when you
it's
do think about it, that's what stops you.
mhm,
You're thinking like, oh, if that's what worry does. It pushes you away from your destiny, from
mhm,
starting. And I'm guilty. I think I go dive in too much on what people think, or I'm talking with some. What do you think? What do you think? Even though I feel like deep down inside I already know, but I'm trying to make excuses why not to start. And so I would, as us as people, we always want to think about, well, what if, and what comes next, and what if that doesn't work? But it's like, well, how do you know if you don't make it work?
right.
If you find out you've lost your passion, okay, then you move on and start working on something else. Like, oh, I just
Mhm,
can't do this. This isn't me no more. But because I mean, when me and you were talking about just growing, in our own in particular life, and you wanted to start your own business. You did. Yeah, I mean, you did say like, I want to start my own business because you wanted something that was yours. And I definitely remember that. Okay, because I remember our conversations because we were always talking about that. Making sure our spirit is strong so that we can act out and go after what we want in our life. And you will always like, I just want to know my purpose. I remember that because you were just like, I want to know what my purpose is. I want to know what my destiny is. I just know that I want something that's mine, and I know I want to create it, and I want my own business, but I just don't know what and where to go. And look at you.
it's crazy.
I mean, I'm
It's
gonna
so
pat
crazy.
you on your shoulder because, like,
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
yeah, I'm very, very, very proud of you because and it's so funny because the fact that my very first episode with you, and we're talking about a total different path that you have taken, and it's just amazing, all within a year's time. You know what I mean? I mean,
You're
really
right.
think about it. We were in January talking about interior, and then months, and I mean literally like a few months, like you've picked this up like that because it's natural. This is your purpose. You know, like it's a part of your destiny. That's you. We can walk into our destinies. We can literally just walk in. That's what opportunity does. You know, when it's meant, and this is meant for you.
And it's like you gotta really sit and be in tune with what's happening around you. And I tell all my friends this, like, look at the signs and read in between the lines, because you
Yeah.
never know what you're supposed to be doing until you start
Mm-hmm.
paying attention. And
Mm-hmm.
like when I had quit my medical assisting job and started doing Lyft and Uber, that helped me with my people skills. Cause I'm an introvert. I don't talk to nobody. You don't talk to me, I ain't say nothing to you. That's it. It's not that I don't like you.
It's just that. Do we have to talk?
Right. But I that helped me with my people skills. I was getting to meet people that were in the industry that had their own businesses, that had failures, that success stories. And then from there on it was just like it's just too much. I can't do this
Right.
anymore. It's exhausting. Then I got into this job at True Team,
Mm-hmm.
working as a contractor pulling permits from City Hall. And there is where actually my supervisor gave me an aquarium that was old and just raggedy. And he's like, I'm going to toss it. And I showed him that I was working on a dresser. He's like, I'm going to toss it, but I see that you were working on a dresser. Do you want to refurbish this? And I was like, yeah. So he gave me the aquarium, he dropped it off, and he gave me the sander that I was talking to you about earlier. That was
Yeah.
his sander. And I went to work on that. The people that I was meeting and learning about permit pulling to build things and what you need and all that stuff fed me, and it showed me like what I needed to do. The tools that people were using at this job. It
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
oh wow, look at that. And now I have all this knowledge. COVID happens, you get laid off. Now I have all this knowledge and all this time. So boom, it just takes off.
Yeah. A little vision. That's all it takes.
Mhm.
And action, because a vision can always say a vision and never happens. But you took action, and you see how those seeds were planted on your path. That's amazing. Like an aquarium that was about to be garbage.
Right.
There was your starting point. Laid
All
off.
I did.
Being laid off was nothing but the door opening for you. It was like now
Right.
you have all this time, and now you can. I mean, and I know you're like me. It's like I cannot have like a dull moment. Like I have to be doing something productive,
Mm-hmm.
and you just went to work. You did it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
definitely.
What would you encourage anybody that was starting? I know we kind of say a lot of that stuff already, but I mean, being that where you are now, what would you tell your younger self? How about that? What would you tell your, let's say, what was 18? What would you tell your 18-year-old John B? That's right. Just graduated, or did you? I'm just kidding.
Yes, I did. Oh God, 18-year-old self.
Yeah, what would
Um,
you tell him? And then for this, I'm gonna pull up a picture when we do this on YouTube. You have to send me a picture of you when you're 18. Yes, yes. And then you're going to.
you can edit this, right?
Yep. We won't even have this conversation right now, and this sound me on this chair sounds like I'm farting. But but I want you to send me an 18-year-old picture of you, and what would you tell him?
Oh my God, just to stay focused on my passion. Because I can tell you now, at 18, I was painting, I was doing interior designing, you know, for family members and at
Mm-hmm.
my own house and stuff. And certain people that entered my life would pretty much put it down like I'm not good enough at it or I didn't have the eye for it. And I let that become my reality. So I never did it again. I just let it go. And I lived up until I moved out here to California, not doing interior designing or anything. I just left it to somebody else to do it. But I would just stay focused and try and find people that encouraged me and pushed me to become a better person. Because a lot of the people that I hung around with back then, I can see were trying to drag me into the hole that they were in. Keep me there, you know, stuck. This is gonna
Yeah.
be our life. But I always dreamed bigger, and I always like followed my own path. You know, I moved away from the city of Chicago and moved to far north suburbs and try to get away from everything and try to become a different person. But yeah, I would just say stay focused and don't give up and keep doing it no matter what critiques you get. You know, take the constructive criticism and apply it, but don't discourage yourself. Don't sabotage yourself.
That's cool. Excuse me. Sorry, the tea went in the wrong pipe.
Let me put my mask on real quick.
Okay, I think I'm good. What? Yes, I put it on mute because I didn't want to tear it up when you were talking. Well, that's good. That's what you would tell yourself because it's funny how that was just a appetizer of what you would be doing now today.
I'm gonna go get my face mask. Extra.
Okay, I think I'm okay. Oh, that was serious. Coronavirus. It's real. Oh my goodness. As I was saying, that was an appetizer of what you would be doing today. And that's amazing. It's kind of crazy how it made a full circle, you know? And I think that we as people should always take a moment to just reflect because and see how sometimes in our life how things kind of made a full circle. And it's like, wow, that makes sense why that happened. I needed those people to put me down at that time because it built me, because everyone's going to beat us down because they don't see potential. And when you don't see potential in yourself, you don't see potential, period.
Right.
You know?
Can you pause this real quick?
Yeah. You gotta go pee.
Yes.
No,
My
see,
leg is shaking like
now,
crazy.
oh my goodness. It's shaking.
I got my headset on.
What'd you say?
I forgot. I still have my headset on.
I know it. I hear you. What are you doing? Stop it.
Talking about ill, but you over there coughing and shit all over the
Hey, I
screen.
push mute. Okay.
Man.
Everybody look at that. Am I on mute? Yeah, come on. That wow, that's cool. So that's what it looks like.
No.
Oh.
She just one of my friends just sent this to me.
But that's encouragement.
It's very encouraging. She was really thoughtful on it too. Like, it's one thing when you say, "Yeah, I'm gonna get T-shirts made with my logo," but when you actually see the name of your company on something, it's like this did it for me. Like, it hit me,
That looks good. That looks so
and that's
good.
one of the
Yeah.
ones that I created.
That is
So
good. And the color is perfect. Green, like that forest green, it's perfect. And then the fonts. People don't realize, like, especially when you do a business card, color is everything to me. Like what you have on there, your logo, the font, it just creates the vibe from it. And so that is like perfect. Good job. You can't rush it. And I know I was rushing you. I was like, so are we doing the business card? What? Did you do it? Did you work on it? What's up? Because I was like, why are you waiting? Are you working on it yet? You know, I'm not trying to rush you. I just making sure, you know, you get it done. That's all I was doing. I was just trying
Definitely.
I was just pushing you. That's all. That's what I do. You know,
Yeah,
people
no,
ask,
I was really grateful because it was just a reality check. Like, wow, this is really happening. But I'm getting new ones made with my actual logo on it, so I will be sending you one of those T-shirts as well.
I've been thinking about, so you we're gonna have to connect on the shirts because I've been thinking about my own merchandise. Obviously,
Okay.
Obviously, we will do mugs. Obviously, I mean it's not just cafe. I'm cutting this out because it's none of y'all business what I'm be working on. But
You should like get the mugs.
I
Especially.
definitely
That
want
would be
mugs
awesome.
that will not just cafe. You know, I definitely want that, and I'll probably have talk about it Tuesday. I'll probably put make a TBIT because I actually like how I made the TBIT thing. You know, have different faces or whatever, but different colors. I like that, and that could be on a shirt. And on the back is like when something talk about it.
That's gonna be
When you reach a mental wall, is that what I said? Of mentality or something like that. Talk about it. One of my phrases, mine. I own it. No one can say it's theirs because it's mine. Nachos.
What is it? The membrane of.
Yes. Words from the membrane of William C. Roberts. How you doing?
There you go.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás?
Oh man, that's exciting though. You should really like start getting that together with your shirt.
I do like. I actually. It's funny how I get these ideas when I'm taking a shower. But I thought about it yesterday. I was like, you know what? I need to make some merchandise, and I think that would be really, really good too. It could both help me, like if I know somebody who does that, and I can help them, and then them help me. You know, build clientele for them to get stuff, and then they're also doing what they need. So I'm gonna be looking for some people who do that for shirts, and then mugs as well, which I'm sure you can get like a whole bunch. Gosh, now I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. I better go get checked. Oh, I didn't send that to you. But we haven't been in contact. That's why I didn't send it to you. But I was going to send this to you. I'm going to send it to you anyways. You can send this to somebody. Where is it? Let me see. I sent this to my friend, and they didn't get it. Because I call him Rose. Do you know Golden Curls?
Yes.
So I called we all four of us, well, technically, and this is off the record. Let me push pause. All right. So, anyways, as we were talking about, what were we talking about? Oh, franchise, merchandise. Well, I always want to say franchise and merchandise rhymes. That's why I probably always say it. But so yeah, that's cool. All right. So, are you gonna start doing shirts, t-shirts?
Yes, I'm gonna.
That'd be like a
order
good
bunch
little
of
giveaway
stuff.
with your clients when they pick up.
Yeah. So they're each gonna get a shirt and a business card once I get the business cards. I was also thinking about tumblers. I think that's what they're called. It's like a little water bottle.
Oh, okay, yeah. And
So
you're
I was
gonna
thinking
have your
about
logo
getting
on there too.
those. Yeah,
That's
and just
smart.
giving those out.
And we're always thirsty. I mean, the thirst is real.
Who are you telling?
Look at him and his monster. Wrong thing to be drinking. All that sugar. I'm not judging. All right. Well, let me see. How long is this? It doesn't tell me.
It doesn't tell you.
No, not until after. But we talked about a good hour.
Yeah.
Anyways, is there anything else you would like to add, my friend?
No, just follow your dreams and work hard. You know,
Follow
it's
your
been
dreams.
nothing but
Work
hard
hard.
work, day and night. You know, sometimes I'm up to like 5 in the morning trying to finish something up. Sometimes I'll be asleep and wake up in the middle of the night with an idea, and I have to just go and do it. You know, so it's been a lot of sacrifice that I've
Yeah,
had to do. That's one thing I would like to add is sacrifice. You have to. You cannot expect something to flourish without um, sacrificing something. And there's been many things that have had to been sacrificed. You know, time, sleep, hangouts, and all. The list goes on and on.
yeah,
But towards the end, it's very rewarding to see what you can accomplish and
yeah.
what's being given back to you from
Right.
making that sacrifice. So that'll be it.
You know, sacrifice. That's big because that works in everything. You know, if you really want something to work and you really have some faith in it, whether it's passion or whatever, you really do have to sacrifice. You got to give up on some
Right.
things to make it work. And especially if it's dealing with you and your passion, I mean, it's worth the sacrifice because you only live this life once. You have one round to go. So why
Right.
not go all the way out? And don't worry about if no one gets it. It's not about anybody else. It's about you. This is your life and you should make the best of it and be an example. This is what happens when you sacrifice and work on your dream and make it happen. This is what it looks like. So, are you down to sacrifice or what? Or do you want to try to keep up with the Kardashians? And I'm using that term as just keeping up with everybody else in their business. You're trying to, I need to be over here. I need to be at this party. I need to be seen. Okay, well, that works for some people. But for those who are dream builders, we have to sacrifice and have to say no a lot and say yes to opportunities. You know, like, yes, let's connect. Yes to that interview. Yes, give me this project. Yes, 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 because there's something valuable to gain in all of that. And, you know, and I'm just grateful that I have learned and I've seen you prosper because this is just a reminder to me that I'm on the right path. So thank you for being an example to me because I know, you know, we both have been encouraging to each other in the past
Mhm.
and past 2 years now, I think, right?
Wow.
Well, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
In November, it'll be 2 years. So,
2019.
yeah, so it's been over, yeah. So, but it's just amazing because like I said again, hate to be a broken record, but I have watched you firsthand from when I met you and from now. So it's incredible. And so I always remind myself by thinking about you that, hey, if he can do it, I can do it. And I know you probably hearing that, you're like, well, but you know, you the one who was pushing me. So why
You
would you
have
think
been
that?
very encouraging, you know. And then one thing is that stuck out is being comfortable with being uncomfortable, you know.
Yes. I love
So
that. I love that because you can't grow if you are comfortable.
exactly. And then like, you know, a lot of people expect things to come easy, staying in their comfort zone, but there's a lot of sweat and tears and frustrations that go into establishing yourself, you know. And every day that I wake up and I'm just like either not in the mood to do something, and I know that I'm headed somewhere, so I have to just get back into focus,
Right.
you know, because when you're passionate about it, you're gonna do it,
Yeah.
and if you're not passionate about it, you need to figure out what you're passionate about,
Right.
because you'll only work that much harder.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, you have been very encouraging from the beginning, like to the whole working at the jobs and the 9 to 5s and the BS that I was going through, and you know, so it's cool. And then you have watched like my whole growth, so it's amazing to hear that, and I appreciate it. The acknowledgments.
No problem. No, thank you for sharing that part of your life with me. You know, so I was paying attention in a way. I felt like deep down inside of me, I feel like you're foreshadowing my future, in a sense, because I'm laid off. You know, so it's like, so you know what I mean. Like that's when I remember sitting in the parking lot at Best Buy, and we were having a conversation where you were like, um, talking with that I can't remember the lady at the place that you were working with, and all this opportunity was starting to happen, and you're like, I think I'm gonna dive into this, but it's like this is all I can do. Like it's like I have no other choice. This is I have to do this. I got to make this happen. And so just listening to that, it was like encouraging. I'm like, this guy has lost like everything. He lost his job. He's right now like feeling like he wants to give up, but he can't because you can't give up. As easy as it throw the towel, what? You're gonna move back to Chicago and live with mom? It's like you are here, and so you can't give up. As much as that seems like it's I feel like it's even harder to give up because then you fall into the hole and you literally just gave up on yourself. You give up on what your potential is and all that. So now you're no longer living, you're now existing for a 9 to 5 job, let's just say, but you did not give up on yourself because that wasn't even like an option, and you just kept pressing. So that's why I keep on saying it over and over again. Yes, I was at the front row watching, but I remember that conversation with you. You were just like, I want to give up, but I can't. And it's just like all this happens for a reason, and then you're like, but what is the reason? Because this is just everything is just, and me on the other side, like, but it is a reason. You just got to keep pushing. You cannot give up. It is what like it's coming because I felt like me talking to myself when I was talking to you. I was like, I felt like I was like, ooh, he is resembling myself right now because like I've been in those situations, but you can't give up. You got to make it. You gotta you create your vision, you create your purpose, you create that finish line, and you gotta go. You gotta finish it. You have to head that way. Like I see it, and there's nothing getting in my way. Like I mean, I've said it before with me when getting my place. I said I'm giving myself a year. That next year I'm getting it. Like y'all you over here all hee ha ha talking about your exes and everything. Like an ex is an ex. Bye, I'm done because I'm moving forward. So y'all can hee ha ha, but I'm only staying here for a year because next year I'm getting my own place. Just letting y'all know. And it happened, and sometimes I have to reflect on that just to remind me that when you focus on something, you make it happen. You take the action that you're supposed to do. You take the sacrifices because I too, you're talking about sacrifices, saying no. I said no. They were always like, let's hang out. Like, nope, I got to work. I got to find us another job. Nope, no, I'm not. I'm focusing. And then, I got my podcast because I wanted to do that. Like, I got to get the mic, but once I move into my place, I'll be able to work on it. And here we are today. So my process may be slow, but I think there's so much rewards in the slow process. And I think you could probably agree on that, because it can't happen overnight. When it grows and you work on it consistently, there's just so much that you learn. I feel like, you gain so much, you gain so much insight, you gain so much wisdom from it. And so, yeah.
Definitely, you have to stop and smell the roses. You have to stop for a minute and think about where you're at now. Even if it's a baby step, it's a step closer. There's always something in that process that you need to sit back and just, a year ago today, I was not here. I was clocking in and out of to work, but making it paycheck to paycheck. And now look at me, I've got so much traction. I've got so many people that are interested in my products. And, that's, you have to just acknowledge the baby stuff, the small stuff.
Yeah, if you're in the same spot that you were last year today, dang, you're too comfortable. You know what I mean?
Hey, I know people who are in the same spot when they were 16 and they're still in the same spot and they're comfortable. Hey, you can't preach. You got to say it once, leave them with the word and let it sink in whenever it does, But if by 30, that light has not turned on, I can't take you with me, So
that's a fact. That's a fact. You those are the ones you don't want to be put in your bandwagon. Okay, like you ain't riding with me because you're gonna
I don't know
be.
if you remember that theory that I had. I'm sorry, to cut you off.
No. I'm listening.
Remember that little theory that I had told you back then when you're climbing a mountain? At the top of the mountain, the air is limited because you're so high up. So whoever is up there with you has to be benefiting you in type of way. Because they're just standing there and taking up air that you need. They're hindering you. Gotta let it go. Let it go. Let go and let go.
Woo! I'm so glad I got that recorded. I'm gonna use that as the tagline of this whole entire thing, okay? That was good. No, you are absolutely correct. And I do remember that. I was like, ooh, you made my spirit jump when I heard you say, ooh. Yes. I was like, you better say that. Oh my goodness. Let go and let God.
Right.
Yeah, no, you have to take the people that are benefiting you, that are reminding you, and it's not a selfish thing. When I say benefiting you, you also are benefiting them too. And I'm not saying like, oh, you're all that because you're giving them. No, you guys, you
Equal
work with each
exchange.
other. Yeah, it's an even exchange that's going on. You're building them and they're building you. And if you don't have that, then you need to reevaluate your surrounding, your circle of people. It's very simple. It's not complicated because if we're not growing and you're like, what's going on? I want to be over there, but I'm not. So, and you feel like you're still trying to feed yourself at home and your circle is not feeding you, then maybe you need to reevaluate. You are what you attract. And so maybe we need to reevaluate our thought process, the way that we see each other, and all that. But, well, this has been very, 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 very insightful. And I'm just amazed. Like the first episode on my podcast with you, and then now, still within a year's time, less than a year, and
9 months later.
we're just barely, yeah.
Oh, but so I gave birth.
Yeah. Right. That's a good way of thinking of it. This was your baby. You was pregnant when we had our first interview. You just found out you was pregnant. We didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl.
Right. Now it's it.
Right.
It happened.
Right. No, that's awesome. That's so awesome though. It's so encouraging. And I hope all of you viewers out there, all of my listeners out there really push yourself and sacrifice and get uncomfortable. Because when you're getting uncomfortable, that means something's working.
Yep.
Something's working or something's about to happen. And that means you need to jump when that door opens. Like, should I jump? If you're second guessing it, that means you need to do it. You know what I mean? So it's like, stop getting in your way of your success and your blessing. So we're out the way. But thank you, Jonathan, for being my guest again. This will not be the last time again because we could be talking about careers next time, but I think we will talk about your success then, and we'll talk about another topic because me and you have some really good in-depth conversations, and I would like to have that focused on that. So you let me know when you're ready.
I definitely will. Thank you so much for having me. And it was a pleasure.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I will also have both of his Instagrams on here for you to follow him and see his great creations that he creates, and support and give word of mouth. If you know somebody who has a reptile friend or a little critter that needs a home, you know where you can find a good mansion for them. That's him, Jonathan. Bow.
Thank you.
And that completes today's Talk About It Tuesday episode on nacho'scafe. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, when you run into a mental wall of personal perspective,